Look, a big thing I wanted to do with you is talk about setup and how we work with stuff, because you're, one of the best there is in being a super admin on Ambition. So this has been awesome. We spent a lot of times behind the curtains. We know a lot about your roles and how these scorecards work. Show us. So we haven't spent any of the fun stuff yet. Like, we haven't talked too much about contests. We looked at a dashboard for a second, but we've got leaderboards, we've got quadrant, we've got contests, we've got TVs. We don't need to hit on all of that, but give us some understanding of how your reps are using this, how your managers are either using goals or contests to drive behavior. And I know I've been in your office, TVs are everywhere. So Run us through whatever you want to show and any of those things. I'm not sure if anything's live right now. But tell us a little bit about, so you've got this machine, it's well oiled, you've got your roles built, people know what they're buying into the system, I think. Tell us how they're engaging with it, how your managers are using it, and what the results have been.
Sure. One of the big focuses that we had gotten Ambition for was reporting, and it was key to our management team. They had previously been using some Salesforce reports and dashboards, but they're a little bit hard for them to use. And because of a lot of the permissions that we had set up on the profiles, they weren't able to view everything that they wanted to view.
We'll do a small timeout. Yeah. You just said something that's one of the biggest questions we get asked is, why is this different than Salesforce dashboards? I think what you said is important, but tell anyone watching this, why is Ambition different than Salesforce dashboards, in your opinion?
So for us, it's on the eye. It's so much easier to look at Ambition data, and it gets you what you want as quick as you want it with the filters that you can. Whereas Salesforce gives you 1,000 options to filter your data and to pull in different columns. A lot of that stuff is almost like in a different language to any of the sales manager doesn't have a tech background. So they might not know what a particular field means. Versus in Ambition, we can name it and have a description on it that is very clear, so they can see it, they understand what it means, and they can pull just what they want and not be presented with 1,000 options that don't meet their requirements. And Perfect. When we in our Salesforce org, we don't use Lightning, we use Classic. And because of that, our dashboards are kind of limited. We can only have 3 columns on that dashboard. So it's going to show us only a limited amount of information. But with Ambition, you have the different spreadsheets views, the reporting views, that you can get a lot of that information all on one screen and get it in the view that you definitely want to see it in. So our sales management team definitely utilizes that a lot.
And would you say people, the reps, obviously managers using it, but are the reps, are they checking in? And right now we're looking at Ambition unique to, our URL, but you may pull up, do people use it in Salesforce as well? That's another big thing is like, well, I want people to stay in Salesforce. Are reps checking these dashboards, and are they checking them in Salesforce on the TV or the Ambition, platform website?
Every single one of them. So on Salesforce itself, when our reps go in, that's their home screen is actually the Ambition screens. That's the first thing they see in the morning is the bunch of zeros on the dashboard to remind them that they got some work to do. So they'll get on those right away. And then when they come back from lunch, it's one of the first things they see when they log in is going to be that home screen with those dashboards. And if those lines aren't at about 50%, they know they got to catch up on stuff. And it also reminds them that if they see that let's say their calls are in the green and they're doing well on the calls, then maybe they shoot out a few text messages and follow up on some deals to pull up the other categories as well.
After lunch, if you're less than 50%, it's pretty easy. We've all been through grade school. You're less than half of the way there, and you're halfway through the day. So, ease of use, I think, is the big thing.
Yeah. So aside from just having it as the home screen, the full page app, we do have whenever they go off that page onto the object views to look at different opportunities. It is in the sidebar, so we have the small widget there that just shows them a little quick snapshot of all their bars. They can click on it to get the more detailed view. They have the option switching over to Ambition in Salesforce, so they can open up Salesforce as well in the second window. Our management team usually has the sales management team in particular, they'll have Salesforce as a window open. Some of our sales managers actually have a monitor that they keep separately, that they have their own screen that just runs just for them, just so that they have a TV view on a small monitor right next to them with just the data that they want, because they want that real-time data without having to refresh.
That's awesome. I think you guys also do like some power hours. Do you have anything live right now? Any goals or any contests you could give us a quick glance at?
Nothing currently. We usually at the end of the month, that's usually when they all pile in. A lot of the times we had empowered a lot of our sales managers to create their own challenges and contests. So there's some unique ones that usually come across that they have a lot of challenges, being sales guys. But the nice thing about having all the different departments on there is that when you have all your scorecards set up correctly and you get everything fine-tuned, you can pit, the business development department against the outbound RDEs. And granted, they're completely two different departments. One's looking for, strategic partners, and the other one's looking for clients. So traditionally, you wouldn't be able to match them up because you would never find any kind of similarity between them. But Ambition gives you that activity score and that objective score that don't necessarily tie to anything specific. So you can say, hey, did you accomplish your mission today? And that basically means that you hit 100 on your activity score. So if the entire biz dev team hit 100, but only half the new sales team, then you can obviously tell who the winner was for that day. So that gave us the ability to have challenges across different departments. And I think that was something we're looking forward to doing, and we're expanding out to more departments in our organization to give them all that ability to track. And it's just a matter of time of figuring out, adding additional fields, figuring out some logic and some projects to get that in there and that data accounted for.